Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing well today. Let's see where I am. I think I need to tweak that order, that recurring order a little bit. Hope everyone had a safe new year, because there's some craziness going on around here, but everybody's safe at my place. That's how I judge. That's how I judge New Year's now. Everybody's safe and where they're supposed to be, and continuing on their growth and projection. So, all right. I don't even really know where the last thing we left off was. I know I cranked out a bunch of LinkedIn videos. I probably need to do that again today. But I've been trying to get some other stuff work done. We'll work on that in a minute. I forgot to put over here, turn that back on. There we go. And that's funny. The corner joke. Let's see. At everyone. That's not everyone. Everyone. I'm live. The joke Nico put over on Discord about the warmest place, the floor, the wall, or the corner. Well, haha, it's the corner. And then I saw a bunch of dad jokes talking about that. Let's go stand in the corner because it's always 90 degrees. Ba-doom boom. I don't know if that translates globally. But like dad jokes, and I'm a big fan. All right, let me make sure I don't have anything over here that I don't want anyone to see. I don't think that made it into the view. There we are. Alright, I think the lighting's pretty good. I got some spots. Hopefully it doesn't drive anybody too nuts, but it seems to be working okay. And there it goes. And the Facebook. That was that was actually in the name, was the Facebook. I can't wait to see my son's complete setup, because I guess I have two for audio. I have an audio for background. I have the video capture for face and display capture. Well, they have 2 display captures and 4 video. No, 2 displays and 2 videos. So they have 4. They have 4 coming in. I don't know where their audio is coming in, but yeah, I want to see that setup. And I'm finally wrapping my head around OBS to really be able to understand all of those things. So let's see. All right. Hope everyone's doing well today. We're having some people drop in. Anything anyone's working on that anyone needs some help with? Because I'm probably just going to go back here. We may do, let's look and see if any of the problems on, that feels pretty bright. Let's go back here. Leak code 75. Let's see if they've changed any of these. Am I not logged in? I'm not logged in, because I know some of these are the same. Have I not done leak code on this new hard drive? There we go. We've done most of these. We may jump over to just regular leak code and find Find some problems. Want to be helpful. There's add two numbers, which is a medium. Rank scores, that's a good one. Duplicate emails. I'm looking at database stuff right now. All right. There's not a lot of crossover between Python interests and data. I've been very intrigued by that. I think we finished up the Advent. I saw a lot of people on YouTube doing a lot of the coding, Advent coding. Yeah, Advent coding. All right. But we got to make, like I said, we need to make a plan. And I need... That is awesome. Sorry, I was just looking over at LinkedIn. Somebody just posted something. And they are almost at 100,000 views on their channel. That is very impressive. It took me 3 years to do that. Yeah, actually, now I kind of want to look. When did I hit 100,000 collectively? Yeah, me being off for a week has really slowed some things down. I want to look. I don't know if I can do that. No, there is no cumulative setting. It's just total. I just made... Maybe it was October. I think I have a spike back in July of 2020. I think that was when I was on Free Code Camp. I was doing live streams on Free Code Camp. Yep. Okay. People are interesting. I am one of those very interesting people. Because if you had asked me, I would have said that I had years and years of 700-800 views. I only had a couple months of it. Wow. But I did have a couple years of over 600 views a day. Starting back in 2020 through 2023, and then the job hindered quite a bit because I was taking every last little bit of me. Every last little bit. All right. Let's see. Don't really quite know. Just wanted to throw that out, Nico. How are you doing today? Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Where did I go? Came here. Let's close that. Don't need anybody seeing that. That's not a big deal. That's not a big... maybe. I guess plan that I want to do is maybe plan to be productive. Plan to make a lot of content. I need to definitely be doing that. Let's get this. This is right here. Move that up just a little. Let's do that just in case. Okay. No, that's not anything important. That's Life 360. All right. Let's look at strings or arrays. Let's go, and that database, let's go status, algorithms, all topics. Do I have to set this for Python? Remove duplicates from sorted array, remove element. All right. Is there anything anyone wants to attack today? I'm kind of open. Have no. Just trying to get going today. First index of the first occurrence in a string. Wait a minute. That's not what that says. Find the index of the first occurrence in a string. That sounds interesting. I think I touched my roller wheel. Wait a minute. All right. Can we read this? And will this fit? Gotta sit over here to just fit evenly. All right. Given two strings, needle and haystack, return the index of the first occurrence of needle in haystack, or -1 if needle is not part of haystack. All right. So oh, okay. I got it. So if you've never heard the term needle in a haystack, because a needle is very, very small, but you, of course, the real solve is you go get a magnet and then you find the needle in the haystack. All right. So the actual substrings, the two strings, now I get it. Haystack and then needle. Needle is probably a substring that is possibly, or not possibly, or possibly not, that's what I wanted to say, in haystack. So haystack is sad but sad. Okay, there it is. Occurred twice. Needle is sad. It's at index 0. Hey, Allie, how are you? Glad to have you here. All right, so now haystack leet code and leto is not there. All right, so how will we go about? Let's attack this. Let's move some of this over. Copy. Don't want to bore everyone with the PowerPoints. We'll do that. We'll do that after we at least do some stuff. Let's get these two. Let's get this. Let's get a working. That's not what I wanted. I don't know why it's been doing this. So needle in haystack. So we got to iterate. So my first go around, this is going to be very, very, very slow. So literally, I'm going to go for I in haystack. Whoa. Yeah. Print I. Let's comment out a bunch of other stuff. Don't know if am I in frame? Feel like I wasn't there for a second. All right. And doesn't like that. Oh, missed one. Run. Perfect. Sad but sad. So we need to do len needle. Alright, so L equals, so why am I doing len needle? Because I need to needle. Wow, sorry everyone for not being able to spell today. Sorry, I need to index this. So haystack and then needle. Alright, so I want to do this first. Haystack. So I start at 0. So I also need to change this to an indexing type. And then len, I'll show you this the long way. Boom, just like this. I know this looks weird, and I'll show you the way that we're going to attack this. So slicing is very, if you're super new here and you're like, what in the world is happening here? All right. So I want to slice out this length. Python is a 0 indexing language. So first, let's get this going and change this to range len close. So now I rerun this. And we're going to first hard code this into length of 3. So print haystack. Actually, let's do baby steps. So now this is an index because I'm using range, and then I'm converting it to, I'm indexing. Now we're going to slice here in a second. Same output as up here. Now I'm going to slice. Now I'm going to hard code this first time. Sad add de. Okay. So okay, and I need to do one more thing. Plus I. Go over that in just a second. There we are. You're like, why are we having a plus I? Well, I hard coded this to the third index. 0, 1, 2. Come on. 3. So if you look right here, D, no more D's. So now I need the length. So as I'm moving over, SAD, then the second letter, second index, which is index 1, ADB, blah, blah, blah. So now, if I find, if this equal to needle, then return, print I and break. The only reason why I have to use break right now is because I don't have return. Hey Jan, how are you? Glad to have you here. It's going great for me. Hope you're doing well. All right. So boom. Now let's do this one. Let's get copy. Let's change these. I hate it when it does that. There we are. And then else. Nope, not else. Print. Let's do this in a function so we don't have to reinvent the wheel to get this to work. Return I. return. We'll go over the anatomy of this, -1. That's redundant. Whenever you have return, anything below return is a dead code. And don't need this. Let's clean this up so we don't, oops. Whoa, that's very impressive, Jan. How is the prep work going? Are you feeling pretty good? Needle, and then haystack. Let me make sure we have. Does the order? I don't think the order doesn't matter. No, because I'm identifying it. I'm hard coding it. Yes, it does matter. Yes, it does matter. Not if I call the variables. Well, now, you know what? We're going to do this, but since we made this function, let's comment these out. Haystack and needle. Print. There we are. Run 0. Okay. Let's change this and do M. What is that? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Perfect. All right. Rerun that. 0. Undo this. -1. All right. Cool. This is a working prototype. But yeah, let's see. Bad testing is a field full of fancy terms. What technically very simple process. At least the test is multiple choice. Okay, that is a plus. That is a plus. So the more you know, the better process elimination. But I still hate. I think it was 2 or 3 years. No, it would have been like 3 or 4 years ago. Had to. I mean, I knew the processes at the building inside and out, and they said we had a week of stuff. I hate tests. I was 44, and they said, all right, let's start to get ready for the test. And I mean, I just felt sheer panic because it was no joke if you didn't pass. It was like, hey, we might need to worry about you being here. So I hope you test well. I did not. All right, so now so this is negative. So this is working. All right. Now let's paste in. Let me put this cap on so I don't spill my protein shake everywhere on everything, keyboard and all. Let's see. Yeah. This is going to be very slow, so we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, does everybody understand the anatomy of this? How it is working? Why it works? So I'm slicing, and as I'm moving over, this is very close to a sliding window-ish. It's a static sliding window, as I like to call it. And then you have your dynamic sliding. All right, let's submit this. I know this is going to be very slow because we're touching every single element. Oh, interesting. All right, copy. No. Use case. Hello, and I failed this one. All right, cool. Hello, and can I copy? Bring this over. That's what we're gonna do. I think somebody just posted something. Really, you're not? Okay. test automator. It is not like... Oh, okay. Yeah. I can see their argument, but I know what you mean. That is very well, I think that's very cool. All right. And then hello. I mean, if we try to put a positive spin on this, they're having you do more, I guess. But I know what you mean. But it falls under testing, even though you're automating it. Okay, yeah. Well, I love automation. I absolutely do. All right, so this is blatantly saying that this isn't here. Oh, anybody else see what I did? That's supposed to be L, and I just was saying I was hard coding it. Okay. 0, 1, 2. L, and I did not get L. L equals len needle. Needle. Yeah, that's right. Needle. And L. Alright. Run that again. I was like, why is that not catching? Well, because I hard coded it. Alright, cool. Now let's run this again. But that's funny. All of them were 3. Now, okay, this is broken. Because, yeah, see how much memory I'm taking? That makes sense. But it shouldn't be this fast. Should not be that fast at all. Their automation is this feature. There you go. This feature is broken. All right. Well, we can keep going. All right. Now we've had some more folks jump on here. Hey, do me a favor, everybody. If you've not hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button for me. I got to do a better job of asking for that. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's go back to the problem list. All right, does everybody understand how I went about doing that and how I solved it? I do want to go back and look at that later, because that... We'll stick with some easy ones today. This is a new year. Everybody's probably jumping on, and they're excited to learn. And that's... Ooh, forgot to do that. That you have to hold on to that excitement, because it's gonna... You're going to run into something that you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is so hard. I remember the problem that I stuck. I have had 2 problems personally that I was stuck on for months. I could not solve, maybe it was 3. I lied. I'll go backwards in the order of events. So the one problem that I had was when I was building my stock screener. I could not get the right merge for pandas to have the new data output, and then rejoin that with the proper... So I had one data frame. Here, let's get paint up here. Yuck. What is this? There we go. So I had one data frame. It was today's results. Results. And then I had then I had a spreadsheet here that I pulled in as a data frame, and it had all of the stock symbols. And what was important is I had a column here with all the notes that I had written, and I had like triggers of what I wanted to watch, So what was challenging for me is I wanted all of the current data, and I had symbols here and here. So I needed to join them on this, keep all of this, and append all of my comments. That took me forever, but I needed it. So I've talked about this extensively, and the reason why I'm going to keep talking about it is this was important for me to have wherewithal to stick with it, because I needed to have this, because I was doing rework. I was reworking everything. I was remaking notes. I was making decisions about money with this. So that was the most recent, and that took me, I just could not get it. I think I was starting doing videos at CodeDam. I was finishing up, probably working with a really rough team at work, but it kept me moving, and I was constantly doing something. So, all right, the last one, and then that was the last one. The one before that, I think, was the MIT, which I highly recommend you going and checking that out, because there's some really good questions on there. So, there were two of them. I think I like this problem more than a lot of people, but I thought it was very cool to have something to spit out. It was the chicken nugget combination. And then the last one in reverse order, but it was the very first one that I had a hard time with, was prime number. That's not that. It's number. There you go. That was probably, and I remember how I wrote that. It was so bad. It was the most awful. First. I think I used a list. I mean, it was just bad. I used a list of how to decide if something was present. But that's what I guess I want to impress upon everyone is we're very afraid. Human beings are very afraid of, and also if you think about it, I think about this a lot. If you're thinking about being judged for something, you probably typically judge. So then this also goes what accompanies it. When you stop caring about the judgment of others, you've also probably stopped judging others, because you realize you have other stuff to do. You have a lot more things that you're getting done, and empathy takes over. And you're kind of like, I don't have time to do this. So, all right. Let's see. So, is there any projects anyone is working on and they're like, I don't really know where to start? Because I could really help you break it down and make it bite-sized and make it very simplistic. I won't make it simple. I won't be able to solve the problems for you, but I could at least help you break it down into manageable pieces. Because that became something that I didn't even know it was a skill that I had, of how to take in requirements and break it up. Very, very, and that's what made me successful at the last job, which is kind of why I'm getting nervous, but I'm not nervous. Because if I can get in a room and I can speak to, that's all I got to do. I realize all I got to do is get in the room to talk. because the things that I was able to do and the people I was able to interact with, like really big business decision people, and I was able to deliver products for them. It's really interesting, but it's just a problem. It's just a problem that you take and you break it down into teeny tiny bite-sized pieces that are manageable and most importantly, deliverable. That's where you really show your value, is when you can explain the unexplainable, help a person envision what they are trying to explain, put substance to it, and especially if there are scenarios, crazy scenarios. Well, I need this to happen if this happens, and you just kind of clunkety clunk through it, and you're like, okay, and you make, and you're a teammate. You're a guide. You're a guide through the technical aspects, from a programming standpoint, through a data standpoint. Our washer that we have is very annoying. It does not take much to get out of balance. All right, sorry. I think I hear a kid's alarm going off. All right. And I don't know. I know I probably annoy people a ton when I talk about this, because it's almost annoying to me, but I feel like a very prominent old-time politician. And he used to say that if your staff and the press that follows you around and they roll their eyes once they hear it, good, because it's just becoming readily known. This politician spoke about things for basically 30 years, from the 50s to the 80s. If you're old enough, you can figure out who it is I'm referring to. Yeah, it was insane. It had the same message for 30 years. And I want you to think about that. How good would you be after doing something for 30 years? You're really, really, really good. You don't even think about it. Yeah, I was talking to my parents about it. They've been in business for 50 years. Like, I've kind of changed my mind. I don't think you know really anything about anything until you've done it for like 20 years. You might know it. You might think you know it. You might do an okay job. But man, there's something about after 20 years, it's just a piece of you. And you don't even think about it. You just see stuff. You feel, it's almost like, no, it's more like a feeling. You just kind of feel it. Like, you're just like, eh. Like, but what I was about to say is about jiu-jitsu. There is barely any difference between this type of problem solving with data or an application, requirement gathering, than jiu-jitsu, because you're interacting with somebody every time. And I finally heard somebody point out why I think I'm obsessed with jiu-jitsu. It is the only active martial art that you can go 100% and not seriously injure someone. I mean, even boxing. When you're sparring, you're not going 100%, and you're not training at 100%. And MMA, you can't do that all the time. I mean, but because you're pushing yourself. Was it yesterday? Yeah, gosh, it was already yesterday. Because I went on my birthday, and there was one person who was kind enough to come and meet me. But we went yesterday for someone else's birthday. they had a January 1st birthday. Well, I thought it was gonna be I thought it was gonna be really laid back, and I was gonna help. Well, there was another gentleman who shows up, and he's exceptional. He's older than me, only by 4 years. That's still a lot when you get old. That's a lot. It's the same. It's the same when like the other way around, like a 5-year-old and 10-year-old. That's really old. That's a lot of age. But like 25 to 30, not a whole lot. But when you're in your 48 to 52, 50, I think, yeah. So it's 4. So he and I went 20 minutes, and then our instructor showed up. He's like, "What are you guys doing with no timer?" I said, "I don't know." It's awful. And I'm not completely beat up, but I'm worn out. I'm worn out. All right. So I have rambled. Has that made anybody think about any questions? Because I just realized I have the database going here, and it's still connected. Let's see. I mean, talking only about which I realize is different from jiu-jitsu. Not well. It but wrestling puts significant strain on your joints, which can stay with you, but it beats head trauma. Yes, it does. Yeah. See, I don't know. I can't speak. But the root, if I understand the history of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it was taught by he wasn't a grand master, but if I understand, they were very prominent people at the Japanese embassy in Brazil, and not Reigns. I cannot think of the family name. But the brothers, they were customs agents, and it was like, hey, we'll help your stuff get through customs if you teach us jiu-jitsu. And they made some adjustments for it. And they made it for somebody who's smaller, because the Gracie family. That's right, the Gracie family. They are the original brothers who trained Horson, Ray. I can see their names. They were little guys. And they had to make some adjustments for it, and make it for a little person to be able to, and they became very, very prominent. Whoa, that just changed. Very prominent and very successful in jiu-jitsu. So the Gracie name goes a long way. And then now you have the Russians have a style, if I remember my instructor, and it was all over the place. But it's the style that I train is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He was trained by one of the grandsons, because he lived in Brazil for a while. Our instructor, his dad was, I think, oil. I think he did oil for a while. So he was down there in the 70s, because he's 8 years older than I am. So yeah, when we first met, he's like, "Oh, you're a young man." I'm like, "I don't feel it." we were finishing up one day. We were mopping the mats, and he's like, "Sam, I like to tell you it gets easier, but it does not." And I don't know, but I'm there a lot, and it helps me. It helps me get through all of this. I'm not, because I could be sitting in a corner somewhere, sulking, and that doesn't do any good. So it keeps it's interesting. keeps my stress down, keeps my anxiety down of life, but it also then triggers my anxiety of suffocation, which I did not know that I was claustrophobic. So sometimes I do well, sometimes I don't. All right, let's look at some database stuff. So I need to come up with a couple of others because I'm probably going to need to do this video a couple times. And so I did SQL. All right. What was the last video I did? Hang on. Let me look at LinkedIn. Do not know that person. All right. Well, the videos are getting some traction on LinkedIn, which is good. All right, let me go to me. Count. Just be valuable. Okay. Yeah, okay. I need to make a slide that says here. Let's duplicate this. Duplicate. Yeah. Not that. I can keep up with where I left off. There we go. No, I want that bigger. That's really only 96. Okay. If I can't figure that out, I don't deserve to be doing this. All right. Is that fair? Okay. Did I not do? Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a SQL. Then I'm going to do communications, this is going to make me throw up, which that means I definitely got to do it. I don't know. People have been on LinkedIn a lot. I don't know if that'll get me the attention I want. I'll think about that one. All right. Okay. I want to get one about a CTE. Let's come back over dbeaver. Okay, I was going to do... All right. Get that to run. Oh, my watch is telling me I gotta get up. I hate that my watch does not know that I do all the jujitsu and I don't get credit for it. It's like, no, you're lazy. You don't do anything. I go, but I can do. But I'm busy. I promise. Like, I don't care. I don't believe you. You don't have it on because I can't wear it because your sleeves get gripped. Your wrist gets gripped. And yeah. Let's see. So I was thinking about Yeah, that's what I do sometimes. I think about it. I was like, oh, I should have done this. No, I got flipped over a couple times. Thought my wrist got. Whew. It was bad. My instructor's like 170 pounds and it feels like 250. It's insane. You're like, how do you control your body that much? Like, he laid on me one time and he was just laying with his chest and his feet were up in the air. He said, I'm skydiving. I was like, oh my God, how are you doing this? It was just balancing. And it was all of his weight, all 170 pounds. It was just insane. It's just body control, which is then mind control, which I think is why I like it so much. It's literally like 5% physical. All right, yeah. Any martial arts instructor worth their salt would tell you to take your watch off regardless of the art. Oh, that's you really awesome. And I wouldn't wear a watch during that either. Muay Thai. Oh, that is so cool. I remember when I was a teenager, we were so intrigued, and we did a skit one time for the Christmas party. He and I were responsible for these crazy outlandish bits because the kids liked it, and we did the thigh kicks, and we called it Muay Thai, and I accidentally got kicked. I thought I was gonna die. So, Jan, props to you on. There's no way that I could handle. Or a hamstring. It was a kick around the back of the hamstring. I thought I was gonna die. It hurt so bad. And then I got popped here on the side, and mine always just split. I can't take my eyes. The skin right here, I guess, is so thin. I've seen other guys just get whacked and like nothing happened. I get like touched here. I don't know if it's the way my eye socket is, but I get touched here and then just folds open. 100% mind over matter. I don't know. I'll be there getting smashed, and here's the weird one. Here's the weird one that gets me. I'll be breathing heavy. I'll be doing fine, and if I turn, and if I suck in hot air while I'm breathing heavy, my brain goes into sheer panic, and I typically tap after that. So if I can get my face out, and you'll see me, I'm just like trying to slide and be breathing and just sucking in cool air. It looks so weird, but I mean I know I got to do it. I'm just like. But then if I turn and I'm trying to like get sideways, and it's just body heat and my breath back on me, and I'm just like, my bad. And they're like, no, and they hop off because most everybody I train with knows what I'm working with and how hard I'm working. So and they just jump right off me, and they're like, you all right? Yeah. And I'm already seeing stars and getting lightheaded because I mean it transpires into physical really, really quickly. It's insane. All right. So we talked about we're gonna do an ascending, we're gonna do a descending because ascending is already. So we're gonna do that. And then we show some. That's not right. There we go. And we do some. All right. And then. Yeah. Let's do a sum one. Oh, oopsie. Delete. This was going to be some function. All right. That's 3 videos. I need a fourth one. I know I talked about, because I want to get into requirements. I need a CTE. Yeah, I need to get to a duplicate. Duplicate. It's a duplicate, and then I'm going to duplicate this. Come on. There we go. CTE. CTE just doesn't feel like what it is, a common table expression. That just, it should be like, I don't know what I want it to be, but I don't want it to be CTE. And I don't need to close that. I need to leave that there. Yeah, okay, good. Sorry, trying to get back. Oh, I made so many mistakes last month. I was so frustrated. CTE. Common table expression, right? Yep. Common table expression. Does not, when you read that, it does not feel, it's like, hey, this is a reusable subquery. But it's not, but I guess it's not also a subquery. Can be specified in a SQL statement. Yeah, it's just so good. A remote table can be referenced from a CTE. An external table can be. A CTE can be specified in a create. Okay. All right. That I didn't know, maybe. And then we need to start getting into inner joins and having. Yeah, we need to start doing this pretty quick. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. 4 is pretty good. Let's get a CT. Let's get a good CTE example. I had an idea. What was? Shoot. We talked about it. Guess what? We talked about it, and I didn't make any notes. Anybody else shocked that I didn't remember it? Ooh, me. I'm shocked. I didn't. All right, I'm lying. I kind of don't want to get rid of this. This kind of looks good. Something about this looks good, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm biased. All right. Yeah, don't save. All right. Maybe a good CTE. I wanted to merge these. I wanted what did I want to do? I wanted to have, all right, let's get going. Billing country, total, and then I also wanted total by was it ID? And run. So let's see how we can make this in a very efficient with so I wanted I'm gonna call this base as select star from base. All right, cool. All right. So now country, no, country sum as, no, I wanted this. So check this out. Let me see if I can do this right. Yeah. So what I want to do, I know what I want. Yeah. Do I still have this open? Yeah, this was it. Okay, look, I did make notes. All right. Customer total. So what I wanted to do is, this is a perfect example of what a business part. And then see, this is also, yeah, why not? Okay. So this is why, like, it's a shortcut. Because if you like business and you like math and data, you can literally go in and you get a free business lesson. Because you know the tables. You don't care what the information is. There's just rows and columns to you. But if you're good at asking questions, and you're good at listening, and you're good at learning, they're basically going to give you a business lesson every time that you talk and interact and give them data. All right? So what I'm saying is, you're going to learn key metrics, best business practices, because business leaders, and really good ones, now that's also a factor. Companies that are growing, now of course also they're hard to get into because everybody wants to work there. But growing companies, if you can identify one of those and you can see that they're really good at business, so that means providing a product, providing a service, solving a problem, and they're giving their customer what they need and want at the same time. Now I used those two different words on purpose, because a customer thinks they know what they want, but they may not always. So you also want to give them what they need too, along with what they want. Because if they need you, they will continue to come back to you. If they get what they want, they may not. So that's not taught a lot in school. Marketing, it is. But, okay, I digress. But if you begin to pay attention on these things that you're building for data things that you're building for business people, you're going to learn a lot about the business world. So, all right. So this is what we're going to build right here. And we're going to see if we can do this really quickly, because it's already half past the hour. So we need to keep moving. Any questions on any of this that we've gone over? Because we've kind of been all over the map today. So, all right. So I'm going to build this, and then I'm going to take the CTE. I'm going to see if we can do this in steps, because this also needs to be, because if I'm going to put this on LinkedIn, this needs to be pretty tight. All right. Country sum as, and then select star from, so check this out. This is also what you can do. Select star from base. So then check this out. So then we change this to country sum. Country sum. Now, that's the same as base if you watch. All right, so now we tweak this here. Watch me. Okay, so then I do group by, so I'm going to do country, then sum total as total, and group by country. Let's see. And I can't spell. Country. All right. Cool. So now this is country sum. Base. All right. So now I want you to look really, really close at this. This is where CTEs become crazy. Okay, let me. Whoa, no. There we go. This is where CTEs become great. So I'm building these, and I'm referencing. So now I'm referencing back up here, and I'm going to re-reference this later. So this becomes extremely readable. And I thought there's pluses and minuses to being self-taught. You are going to be an exceptional problem. If you're self-taught, you're going to become an exceptional problem solver because nobody's there to bail you out and teach you anything. But you're going to also attract some bad habits because that's a double-edged sword right there. So you are going to attract some bad habits, but you also don't have an ego, so you can correct those bad habits. So the bad habit side of the sword isn't very sharp. It isn't very finished. So it's going to be rough and have nicks, but you can do this. So I want you to see right here. So we're creating, I like to call this the base. So then I can reuse base, and then I also I'm using base here. I'm getting my country code here. And then now I'm going to join on both of these on country. Let's do base. From base, join country sum, copy, on, I'm going to show you using country. This is very cool. We're gonna go through a lot. Venki, how are you doing? Good day to you. I feel like that's not right. Temporary. You know what? Let's CTE, because I believe it goes into memory. Temporary. SQL temporary table. Because I think the temporary table actually writes. So let's talk about the well, better. Better. Let's. Good question. What are we trying? Okay, question. What are we trying to? You want to say when should, probably the better way to ask that, when should we use a temporary table? When should we use CTE? That would be my comment to that question. So in an example of whenever I'm using any of these, I'm typically going to take this output and write it someplace else. So I'm either going to be updating other tables, and let's figure out why. Near country, group by. What am I missing? Have I just already misspelling? Hang on. Near country. So my point would be use case. Look at the, because there's always trade-offs. All of my uses is I'm taking the data and moving it somewhere, and temporary tables. I'm trying to remember if I've had a use case for temporary tables, because everything that I do is part of a pipeline of then writing to a permanent table. Because I'm needing to, the CTE is because it only is in memory. It is only there and is a view. So it's even, well, you know what? Let me make sure local temporary tables is available only for the session that has been created. It will automatically drop delete when the connection that has been created is closed. To create a local temporary table, single pound hashtag is used in the prefix of the table. Drop. So here's create table temporary. To me, that feels like it's going to be slower. So I can't think of a use case where I would be doing this, where I'd actually want to be going and creating any table, because you're going to create a schema, inserting, end execute, and then I close it. So global temporary table, local temporary table, session specific. There's probably a situation where the data gets so large that you will need to keep it. I have my tips in it as much as I did with Python, so switching kind of tosses it does. So far, I know CTEs can be used recursive. See, I guess I've never had to do that, but I guess that would make sense. Sorry. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I want to get this. I want to figure out why this is saying error. I wonder if I'm reusing. One, let's get this both working. Okay, that works. That works. All right. So why'd that throw up? Okay. If you join multiple tables with rows, temporary can be reused. If you join, let me reread that. If you join multiple tables with rows, yeah, I guess. I guess I'm not following that statement. I guess that's a question. If you joining multiple tables with rows, temporary tables can be reused. Well, you want to be so when I'm hearing reused, you want to, well, it depends on what you're doing, because when I hear reused, I freak out. Now, if you're doing many to one, no, one to many, one to many, you want to reuse. But if you're not doing that, you can get, I call it overjoining, where you can then get more data back than, so like if you join a fact in a dim table, you should not have more rows on your your result table than you do in your fact table, because your dim table is supporting like your addresses, your box size, your shipping. But if when I see reused, I get really, really scared about that, because if your results table has more rows than the fact table, then you have a problem, because you overjoined, and you will get into that all the time. Joining is a bugger. All right. I have country and country. All right. We're not going to use using right now. Join country sum on O as B as country sum B dot country equals country sum dot country, and bingo. Oh. That's it. I was misusing. All right. So check this out. Oh. We need to fix this. Country total. Okay. Okay, total, customer total. Let's change this to customer total. Oh, I don't want to do that. Nope. Total. So then here we're going to tweak this. Why is the customer ID not showing up? Customer ID as, no, I want that because we're going to tweak this. Then country, no, why'd that do that? What? Country, then no, I should have star. Okay. We are going to tweak this a little bit. That's what's coming out right now. So customer ID, B total as customer total, then country, no, then what do I want? I got 1, 2, 3, then and I got to tweak all of this. Total as country total. Now I need to do this on. Just wanted to show you using. So if you have the same column name, exact column name, that only works. Join on b.country equals cs.country. Let's make sure this is working. Ambiguous country name. Okay. Base.country. There we go. Customer total. Let's change these to capital. And I'll show you how to do this in. All right, capital, capital, capital. So, all right. Now what I want to do is so see how we have our customer, and we can tweak this again because this would be a perfect bit to do this. Because now we know who the customer ID is, but we don't know the customer. So now we'd have this very good pipeline. So we could be writing this to a table, and then somebody could do the join later, and it would save some costs because they would be looking at this. So every time you do a join, it gets very expensive. But the more you can compress the data, and also group bys are expensive too. There's a way to get around that. I can show you by doing partitions. We haven't even looked at partition over. It is a very handy way. But right now, I want you to look right here. I want to see what percentage this customer now has of the total of this. So let's look right here. And we're going to do b dot total divided by cs dot total. Now, since this is inside of this query, you can't use these alias names. So I'm having to use these base names. As percent cent. Let's stick. All right, run this. And I want this right. I want it right here. So I need to move this. Cut. I want it right after their total. And we need to do round. I do not want round and then multiplied by 100. Helps if you spell round correctly. So here we are. Okay, let's get rid of this. Why is this not working? Because I'm not saying I want to round this to 2. There we are. Times, and we'll go over this. This is actually very Python-like, and we'll go over this in a second. Well, this is not correct. Those are the only... There's 50. We need to check this because this doesn't seem right. We're going to export this. So they're the only order from Chile and Hungary. All right. These two are 8%. 8% total. Should be 8% of total. But all right. So now this is a perfect, I'm telling you, this is an exactly perfect request of a business partner that would come to you with this table, with this invoice table, and for them to say, this is what I need, and they would lay it out, and then you would need to take it and tweak it, and then insert. Where this gets really cool is you take all of this and you wrap this around and you do an insert statement. So probably in the next, we need to look at inserts. CTE. And then we need to look at, see, I have to take my, so let me just, I have to sit here and pause and I go, does that say duplicate or does that say delete? And it says, and I'd have to look at it, but it might be like, why are you doing that? Well, because taking those extra 2 seconds slows me down completely. I call it insurance. I call it accuracy insurance. I slow way down and I stare at it. Because if I were to have to make a mistake and undo everything, I'm going to spend so much more time undoing a mistake that should have never happened. So, all right. And I want to do this as insert statements. Because this is where the rubber meets the road, where you're starting to, because when you're first interacting with databases and their tables, you're selecting, you're reading, you're doing all these things. Well, the next is you insert, and then the next is where you're updating. Oh boy, you're like, wait a minute, So there's an insert and then there's an update. So when you update records, and there's a whole technique, and there's scenarios where you're gonna insert new records but then possibly turn off. So here's a great example. You never get rid of data for historical reasons, but let's say you're over here. We'll do here so it stays consistent. Let's do 4. Address, name, the way that I like to do this, name, date, and then active. So you can do this a variety. So this here, they can still be active, but the address would be like if they moved. So the date, you do it current year, or if you want it month. And then every time that they were to move, you would need to update their old record, turn this off. This is not an active address, but this is. So basically you could keep up with where they are, where they've been. Like if you're like, oh, we've shipped here's a perfect example. We shipped it to, they insert their old address. They had to send it to a different address. They said they didn't get it. Well, one of the things that I know is checked is, did they check? And it's like, they're like, you sent it to the wrong address. No, this is where you entered what us to send it to. You happen to send it to your old address. How do you know that's my old address? Well, this is where you used to live, but we can fix it, and you can also then track behaviors and things. But so when you'd insert, like if you're constantly checking to see if that address is in the system, if it is, but now we have a new address. So then if this triggers, you then come up here, you deactivate, you change this to a 0 or a false or however the design, whatever the design is. And then you then insert a new row, and then that becomes active. So these are all of the things that are happening on the back end. I love it because, I mean, it's just one big puzzle. I feel like I need another one here because I don't want to. Nobody's on LinkedIn today. Oh, and I read the other day, Tuesday through Thursday is the best time to be posting because people are. So what that tells me is people are actually doing work on Monday and Friday, but they're not doing any work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because they're on LinkedIn. So all right. I've been on for about an hour and a half. Before I drop, I want to be able to answer any questions. Anything pressing that anyone has. I'm here. Bingo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 is pretty good. Anything anybody wants to go, hey, I need this like right now, today. I can't can't do anything without this being answered. Anything that important that I can answer right now. But does everybody see what I did? This right here, 100% normal as a result. So here, let's look at where country equals USA. Ambiguous country. Yep, base dot B dot run. All right. So here we are. 13. I want to check something. I want to do some this shouldn't work. I just want to see. Yeah, doesn't work. This shouldn't work either. I want to see. Yep. 99. So there's a little bit of a rounding error. All right. I just wanted to try something. Because then you could. So I could have another. I could make this a CTE. And go back. But I guess it'd be the equivalent of. I guess what I wanted to do is I wanted to test to make sure that these calculations were correct. All right, let's rerun this. But here we are. But like I said, this is 100% a question that a business partner would ask for you. And then they would, later down the road, you would take this and then put this into another table, and you would constantly be building this every day or every month or every year, however it was, and it would be flowing in, and then so you would be saving time. So the whole process and the point of building pipelines are the constantly queried tables. You want, especially the really costly tables, who are just constantly being queried, millions and billions of rows. You want to you want to keep that to a minimum and build pipelines that can be reused. Several of the ones that I built were used downstream by our three other analysts that just were. And then you have that. Then you have the point about accuracy. So we had four of us using the same data. Well, there was inconsistencies. So I was tasked with cleaning it up a little bit. And then if you want to drive a director nuts, have two different sources of information, have two different answers. That'll drive, which, I mean, they're making very large business decisions, and percents matter. Percents matter completely. All right. So when you're talking about a couple $1 billion, a percent is some real money. I mean, some real money. They're like, well, wait a second. What? and if our expectations are, we have zero threshold on, we have no wiggle room this year. We can't be off by a couple $100,000. We're already in the hole, possibly $1 million. And that's, you just can't do that. So, all right, I think I got a good CTE right here. And we can go from there. I want to test this later and make sure that there's not a better way to do this, but I don't think there is. Because I'm taking my base, I'm referencing it, I'm compressing it. Because what I'm trying to do is, because here's a perfect example of where a subquery would be awful, because so this happens once and it's stored. Then I hit it again and it's a whole other table. Well, then here I am again. So I'm having a result, and then let's do that right there. Bingo. And I have this very pretty, and I have my percent of, actually, that's what I want. That's better. Actually, I want 4. Bingo. That is pretty. So typically, and I don't know if you know significant figures, but like right here, that needs to be, if I have 2, because I have cents. So I have cents. Yes, I'm moving over to percentages, but this is more accurate. I'm having 4 significant figures here. I should have 4 here. So, and of course, then I round. If I can't have 3, but I have 2 trailing decimals. Wow. Okay. All right. I did not see any pressing questions, so I'm going to wrap for today. Oh, look at that, Brazil. Okay. So 37 total should all be the same percent. There we are. All right. So I think we just dropped. I think I'm back. Sign is I need to wrap up. So I think I'm 100% back. But we'll wrap up for the day right now. Yeah, we're at 1 hour and 41. So I don't